Hey, welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep. So we look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play it as karmic themes. This will help you understand why you are attracting the type of person that you are and what's creating the dynamic of the relationship, how you're contributing to it, really. And the reason why is because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on what your core beliefs are, and your core beliefs are what are going to determine what your behaviorisms and habits are. And that is actually what makes your karma. We tend to associate karma with bad. Doesn't need to be bad. It just means learn. However, when we're stuck in a karmic loop, one that keeps us in a place of disempowerment, a place of fear, lack, well, we form masks, we detach, we disassociate from that part of ourself. We reject that part of ourself. And that's why we create a persona where that whatever it is that we feel is out of balance is. So if you're someone that has a hard time making money, no one wants to advertise that they don't have money. It's embarrassing. So someone that doesn't have money tends to overcompensate to act as if they have money, especially if someone um, values themselves on what their bank account is and their bank account isn't big. Again, that their core belief is that they are as good as how much money they have. Obviously, that's not the truth. We're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. Money is only a currency. And it's again how we tend to view ourselves. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling as if you're connected to someone that has a spiritual block with money, and so do you. Only this person knows how to make money. They lose money. And I feel like that sometimes you have a hard time making money, Scorpio, where you don't really need to or you're working a job you don't like. There's a sense of money doesn't come easy. Money is, again, there's a lot of core beliefs again around money, and that's good because you were raised in an environment that you saw lack. Again, we tend to inherit our money issues, right? Because children don't have a thought about money one way or the other. They're taught about money, and they're taught about money from what they view, how they view their parents deal with money. So again, I feel like both you people have spiritual blocks around money. I don't know. We're going to find out why. I don't know why I said that. Again, sometimes spirit likes to give me little tidbits before I pull cards. However, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, is the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. And that's important because, again, people that have shadows wear masks. They're not coming from their true self. They're coming from a facade, an illusion. So the word of the video is blame. The underlining energy is blame. I feel like you're connected with someone that got triggered, and they got triggered by something that you said. And I feel like it's mainly because they have a lot of baggage that they've never really looked at, healed, have never done any self-reflection work. And I feel like you're on a higher vibration. So this person, everything that they hear, they're wounded like hearing. Everything that they perceive is again through this limited perception, and it's because they don't like who they are on a deep core level. And because you're coming from a higher perception, this person takes everything that you do the wrong way. This person's insecure. So because you are not insecure, this person thinks that you're conceited all of a sudden. When meanwhile, when you first met them, they didn't give you time. So I feel like this person stayed away from you and they blamed you for stuff that they actually did. And I feel like in the beginning, when they again got triggered, they didn't do any reflection work. So it's been some time and they have had time to reflect. And now they're seeing things from a different perception. And they're saying, it was my fault, but I blamed you. And that's something that you knew the whole time. You're like, yeah, and that's why I didn't never came looking for you. So I feel like you've been in separation from someone for a long time that got triggered. And the trigger could have been as something as simple as, hey, let's go out for lunch. Hey, let's meet up, where this person is like, you're telling me what to do. And you caught them on a bad day. And I feel like they just reacted. So again, they stayed away because of this. So I feel like they have a big ego. I don't feel like you have a big ego, though I think that this person perceives again that you have a big ego because you stood your ground and they thought that you were the one that was at fault. But again, they're on a much lower vibration. So when you hung out with this person, or if you hung out with this person, what was it like dealing with this person? Let's take a peek. And this person just again was haunted by the past. Okay, they never got over the past person, and even if the relationship was over, they never healed. And I feel like this person has a bad way of really pissing people off. I feel like they have avoidant issues. They have a real hard time communicating. And so they don't handle things properly. They don't care about anyone except for themselves and they react. And they are always reacting from this place of fear, inadequacy. And they're haunted now, I feel like, because like I said, this is they know that there's been so much time that has passed by and you are not the same. They don't even know how to approach you. They don't even know who you are anymore. And that's why. And again, because they're insecure. Like I said, I feel like it's mainly from all their past relationships. And, you know, they piss people off. They get into relationships and they're avoidant. I feel like they're not emotionally intelligent and they're very selfish. So that's a cocktail for a very toxic type of relationship because whoever is going to be in a relationship with them is always going to feel like they give 1,000%. And when they ask for something in return, this person hears everything through, again, distorted filters. And they see it as criticism. They see it as blame because they're insecure. And you always felt like they were manipulating. Like you never felt like they were coming from their true self, their higher self. They were never transparent. And how you knew this is they would leave pieces of their story out. They would phrase things in a way to make you perceive certain things. But what you always knew and felt was that there was a lack of intimacy. There was a lack of transparency. So again, this person was always scheming, manipulating the situation. And I feel like you thought that this person was talking to other people because it's like, why are you manipulating me? Like, Why do you need to control me so bad? It's like where I feel like this person was insecure, but I feel like that they would overcompensate for their insecurity to make it look like they were cheating. And this is what a psychological reversal is. Like when a person gets in their own way, and they're not cheating per se, because they're not dating anyone. Emotionally cheating, yes, because this person's not emotionally giving to you. They want you to give to them, but they are not going to do it in a way that's so in your face. They're going to do everything by really strategizing, by really just trying to control, like always being 10 steps ahead, which obviously, if you're always 10 steps ahead, how, like, are we building a connection? Is this a connection that's actually going somewhere? And that's what it was. You're like, this isn't going anywhere because you felt that it was a facade. It was never real. You can feel when somebody is being transparent, when they're real. There's an emotional connection. This person cares too much about being perfect. And they do so where you can actually see how wounded they are because they're very self-righteous. They judge other people extremely harshly. However, this person gets triggered all the time, where again, they feel people are judging them. This person judges everyone, and they never admit that they're wrong, ever. So they never apologize. And I feel like this person has done a few things that wouldn't be outright, like in your face, like passive aggressively. I feel like this person would play games like underhandedly. So your intuition would be like, I think that this person is like mean. Like that's what you would feel, because you'd be like, you know, someone died or it's a special occasion or something's happening and you don't show any interest at all. You don't care. Like you tell me one thing sometimes, and what it was is that sometimes this person would talk to you and they would want you to like flirt with them. They would want you to feed their ego. They would want you to like tell them how sexy they were and how beautiful or how handsome, and how, they would say, hey, we'll go out to lunch, or we'll go for a ride on my boat. I feel like somebody has a boat, and or we'll go out on my motorcycle, or we're gonna do something, like where you would think that they're trying to create some sort of form of intimacy or trust. And they would say it mainly just to see what your response would be. They didn't mean anything by it. And that was what was hurtful. That it's like you judge everybody, but meanwhile, you don't give anything. You don't give anything. Like you maneuver and you scheme to continually see whether I have feelings. But to a point that I don't even have feelings anymore. I feel like you're like, I don't even have feelings anymore because, you know, you project everything, and this relationship really isn't even a relationship. I don't know what it is. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Keeping you on the hook. Keeping you on the hook. It's like for some, this person is just, they get influenced by their friends. They get influenced by, they ask other people their opinions of what they should do in their relationship or what they should do in their career. It's like this person is not very confident. So they just tend to blow with the wind. Maybe for some of you, people, like, again, they have friends, they have family that influence them, that want them to date for money, that want them to date for status, that want them to date within their religion, that want them to date within their culture, maybe for some. But I just feel like who you're dealing with is not a strong person. They're insecure. That's why they have to manipulate everything. And it's tiresome. If I'm so busy manipulating, am I creating a relationship? How could anyone? And you certainly aren't going to feel safe being in a relationship with this person, because you can intuitively feel that like you're not here. And when you would think that they were cheating, because you would say you're not really here, you're not really present, even if the person's not cheating. They're checked out because they're thinking about what they're going to do. They got to remember their lives. They got to remember like the mask. And so now it's like, and you just felt like, again, the person was always lying and maybe even cheating. Like, again, maybe both. That's what I'm saying. And it may take like almost like you felt like, I feel like for some of you, you guys even confronted this person to come clean, okay? Because you're like, I don't know what's going on here. It's like, are we in a relationship? Not in a relationship? Like you're talking to other people. The person was maybe talking to other people, but they weren't dating other people. They were always doing things passive aggressively to trigger you so that you would confront them, because they knew what they were doing. And this is how they can know, like, how jealous you are, like what you're going to do before you do it. And so it's like, yes, they have trauma, and this is one way that this person like is reliving their trauma. They're looking for problems, but they're also creating those problems because they have an ego. So they're afraid, but they're also self-righteous. So this is the worst combination, because what you have here is a person that's really insecure, but then they act self-righteous. They act very cocky. They act as if they do no wrong. They don't need to apologize. And this is a second chakra imbalance. This is when a person overcompensates for, again, the lack that they feel about themselves. And that like you just felt like this person is like they're hiding something from me. They're hiding something. It's like you're not telling me the whole story. You leave pieces of your story out, because you'll tell me the story again, and then I hear a little bit more. The story changes a little bit. So I don't know. Are we in a relationship? Are you trying to get over on me? You're certainly, definitely don't want me to feel safe. I don't feel safe. I cannot let my guard down. This is what you felt like, because you're like, I don't know you, but I know you're guilty. I know that you're guilty of something. If you're not cheating, you're definitely lying. You're keeping shit from me. You're manipulating. You're tell me half truths. You leave pieces of your story out. You want me to give everything to you, but you're gonna like give me what you feel like. That's the energy there. And it's like you just felt like you have a long way to go before you really know what you want, because you're stuck in the past. And you don't really even want to be in this relationship because it's tiresome. And I really feel like it's tiresome for this person to be in this relationship, because they have to wear a mask. They're not going to be transparent. They got to remember their lies. They got to strategize. They're keeping secrets. They're, they, they want you to give them energy, but it's almost like they don't care what type of energy you give them, because this is actually triggering you to not make you feel safe, feeling like you're lying, you're cheating, you're leaving pieces of your story out. So something's going on. You're guilty of something. So it's like this person, it takes a lot of energy to be in a relationship like this. It takes a lot of energy to hold up a relationship like this. And so again, you just felt like it's a long road. Like you don't even know what you want. You just feel like this person hasn't even started their healing. And then you also know on some level, you're like, well, is it me? Because I attracted this person. And we tend to be a mirror of what comes into our life. So that's your higher self, where your higher self is like, why am I attracting this person? What am I supposed to learn? Ruins again, where this person, just every single relationship, they leave in ruins. And it's because nothing is ever built on the truth. Everything is strategized. We don't have relationships to strategize. That's not what we're supposed to do. Maybe in business you do that because you don't want to lose your money and you're dealing with people that only are not taking feelings and emotions into consideration. They're only looking at the bottom line, the money, right? I mean, but even in some businesses, people, again, they have empathy. Well, this person doesn't have it. And so every relationship, like I said, every relationship winds up like horrible because this person is not emotionally intelligent. They avoid and they make the person so angry because they do things, passive aggressive things, to get underneath the person's skin so the person reacts and they actually like it because it's like, oh, see how much you care about me, see how much you like me. But meanwhile, this person wants to be in a relationship, but they want everything on their terms. And it's mainly because of a past relationship. It's like this person doesn't heal, they stay insecure. And as long as they stay insecure, they'll always blame you. They'll always blame the other person. This person, again, wears masks. They project, they deflect, they avoid. They have ostrich syndrome. Like it's not really happening, though they know that it's happening. And then the person that they're with wants to talk about it, wants to work things out, and this person's going to avoid. They're going to deflect. They're going to play games. Just real insecure, just like literally like grammar school bullshit, just almost like I don't want to deal with it. Then why be in a relationship? It's too intense. It's too intense. Well, it's again, it doesn't need to be intense. It's too intense for this person because they create facades. They don't let you get close. They got to remember where their lies are. They want the relationship, but they don't want it where it's healthy and balanced. They want it where it winds up being intense, but then the relationship's too intense. And the reason why is it's because it can't just be focused on the physical aspect where your person obviously is attracted to you, where that's why they want you in their life. And I say that because this person's not emotionally intelligent. They haven't healed from the past relationship. So they're coming in and they want you and they want all of you, but they're not really ready to give all of you. And so, but they would want the physical aspect of you. And this creates so much drama that it becomes exhausting. And it's because this person makes the relationship that way. They make all their relationships that way because this person doesn't give any emotion. So they seek out people that they perceive are emotional, that are good catches, are like healthy and balanced and have friends and again, because they don't. They're in a bad relationship and They clearly are not hanging out with people on a high vibration. If they are hanging out, they're hanging out with people that are influencing them, but negatively. Where this person is just like scheming, but the problem is if you're scheming and you have a lot of blocks, you have a lot of distorted perceptions about yourself and distorted perceptions about the person that you're connected to in the relationship, then you're gonna be afraid. You're creating intimacy issues right then and there. And intimacy, I mean trust. So this person creates that whole dynamic where, of course, you would think that they're cheating. Of course, that you would think that they were doing something. And it would be exhausting because you're in survival mode being connected to this person. And they love it. They love that because it feeds their ego. And I feel like for a long time, you were blind to it. It's where I feel like it took you a long time to like open your eyes to this person because you gave them more credit than they deserved. See, they never let you get that close. I feel like they made excuses. Like I have to work, I'm working late, I have to help my family, I have to do this, I have to do that. Always valid excuses, but it wasn't giving you anything. And after a while, you're like, okay, like I don't know what this is. I don't know why so many games. I want to see, what is this person like? Are they going to do anything? How do they really feel? I check on you from afar. So this person stalks you on social media. Of course they do. Because again, they still have feelings for you. This was just a fling, but you're my soulmate. They want you to think that it was just a fling. They want you to think, and if you just were like, well, I never actually hung out with them, they wanted you to think that it would have just been a fling. But the truth of the matter is that this person, if you were just a fling, they wouldn't be checking on you from afar. And again, you're their soulmate. They know that you're their soulmate. So this person isn't honest with themselves, and they're not honest with themselves because I feel like you walked away from it because you're like, this shit is too intense. You create too much drama in the relationship, unnecessary drama, because you're trying to make me feel bad about myself. It's like, so you're like kind of like nudging me. Like it's like a kid that's like continues, like it's pinching, and after a while, like they know that the person's gonna like flip out and then they're waiting for it. It's like almost like very narcissistic energy. So our story isn't over. So they don't think that it's over yet. But the problem is that this person likes games. It's all about games. They're always scheming. It's the way that they create like a fake passion. It's not passion like, oh, I love you. It's passion like where you want to like rip the person's face off. This person has a lot of anger inside of them. And it's because they never got over that past relationship. So until they heal that past relationship, like those issues, what they perceive happen, they will never be in a healthy relationship. They will bleed in all over the next person because they're wounded. And instead of them addressing that wound, it's like they just like infect everybody. If you could get infected from a wound, which I'm sure you can some with some wounds, but it's like bleeding all over the person. Put a band-aid on. Put like attend to it. But this person's going to pretend that it's not there. Avoidance. But then it's not like they don't have feelings. It's like everybody has feelings, even if you're not a very evolved person. Everybody can fall in love. Everybody could have feelings, but to deal with a person on such a low vibration. Again, they're just too insecure. They can't have a conversation. Because really, conversation shouldn't be about like, I'm blaming you, you're blaming me. Can't we just have a conversation? But this is how this person sees everything. Because again, the only type of relationships this person has ever been in are people that have been on their vibration. Because nobody that's on a higher vibration would put up with this. Again, we see that they're cocky, like our story isn't over yet. But again, they're insecure. So it's the most frustrating because it's like, are you insecure or are you cocky? It's again, both. They're insecure, so they overcompensate, where they again are cocky, and that's because they've lied to themselves so much. They've created so many illusions, created so many facades that they don't let anyone get close. It's a very lonely life. However, they've lived the facade, created that for so long that they actually believe that about their life. However, the real self, the higher self, which everybody has a God part of self, it's just sometimes the ego takes over, and this person's ego is taken over because they're wounded. They're wounded. So this is why it's frustrating to be with a person like this, because it's like they don't believe that they have a problem. They have a false sense of entitlement. Clear the illusion of the 3D world. Don't take everything at face value. There's a lot more going on spiritually and energetically than you can see. Yeah, this person's acting like they don't give a shit. Like I said, that's what they were acting like. That's why I said, this is just a fling. I was like, then why are they checking on you from afar? No, it's like they know that the story isn't over. That's because, again, they're soulmate. But what they would have, not taking into consideration is that they shit all over this connection. It's like that you're not going to feel the same way. It's like that you did. Because when you met this person, you perceived that they were someone else. You definitely didn't perceive that they were on such a low vibration. So they're changing. Again, that's why he's saying they're showing you one thing, but again, they're affected. They're affected by you. It's again, they're hoping that you're gonna come into union because they again, like we're one. It's like they took advantage of the connection. It's not saying that they never thought that you were a soulmate. They did. But it's again, they were too wounded to be in this connection due to a past relationship. So they wanted that good, yum, yum, because that's who you are, right? Again, soulmate. Like again, there's a lot of passion here. I want it. It's like, however, it's like they were not on a high vibration. They played a lot of games. Again, they long to sweep you off your feet and shower you with love. So again, everything is about the passion, about the physical, about the desire. And that's understand that would have to happen in order to for anybody to change. You have to realize that the universe brings people into our life to help us heal. How is again, spirit has to like make the person surrender their ego, and that's not done easily. It's done by bringing in a person usually on a higher vibration that's not going to put up with this shit, and then there has to be a lot of passion. So there's ingredients here that it actually could work, and there's actually again what spirit's saying is, yeah, you don't see that there's anything that's happening, but a lot is happening right now. This person's really affected at the fact that you walked away. Remember, they're very insecure. They're not showing you that. They're overcompensating by saying that it was just a fling, like you're not really that important to me. I've never felt love like this before. The depth of it can be inspiring, but it's overwhelming. It's just too overwhelming. But I mean, it's deep. And like experience of, well, it would have to be like, remember the ego is big. and that it was created from experiences. This person's created a lot of survival mechanisms, but they're self-sabotaging. What worked in a past relationship, again, the behaviorisms that we create in past experiences helped us to survive, but they will be the greatest downfall and the greatest obstacles in the things that we most want later on in life if we don't integrate. Like, again, this person's reactionary. Again, they hear everything through, again, the wounded of the hearing. It's how they perceived. This whole thing started because they were like, they were doing things, but they blamed you. They projected it on you. They avoid, they don't talk, they're insecure. Again, so they overcompensate by acting cocky. But the whole thing is that it's the relationship too intense. So it says this twice. They never felt love like this before. And also, like, it gets too intense. Now, this is a negative too intense, where I feel like you're like, no, it's too intense because they create drama and it's exhausting. Where this person creates that because of the depth of the relationship. It's overstimulating. Remember, how does a trigger happen? This person gets around something that they desire, but they're insecure. They're not on the right vibration. They don't believe that they can have it. Why? Because they're still wounded from a past relationship. So, again, they get in their own way. They sabotage the connection. So, everything that this person should do to fix the relationship, they don't do. And so their ego gets bigger because, again, they're like, how am I going to fix this? So they overcompensate and act like the relationship wasn't a big deal. It was just a fling. Like, if I hung out with you, it was just a fly-by-night thing. It was a little nothing. Like, that's all that it was. Where really, down deep inside, it's overwhelming them. They have to think. They have spiritual blocks around love. Thinking paralyzes this person around love. So if you have a problem with math, let's just say I said, hey, do this calculus math question. And I'm using, again, I'm sure that there's some of you that actually do know how to do that, but the majority of people would say it's not easy. It's overstimulating. I wouldn't want to have to bet my last dollar like on me getting that question right. That's overstimulating. Well, that's how this person gets around relationships and love. So again, they're like, and it's all because they've never healed. They need to get help. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is the love and healing we require for reunion. So again, unconditional love. That's what this connection actually has. This person keeps feeling like, I've walked away and I always come back to you. I've compared you to a lot of other people. I watch you from afar. I feel like I know you. You feel like home to me. But like I said, they get tempted to disconnect from like source and just go into their ego and live from their addictions, keep it on the surface, continue to strategize, continue to wear masks. Scary to change. This person is tempted, though. It'd be a liar to say that they wouldn't be. Because they don't know whether or not the relationship is actually going to work. They don't know. They want it like a sure thing, and they don't trust themselves. They trust themselves when they can scheme and they have the upper hand. Then they trust themselves. They don't trust themselves to be this vulnerable in this deep type of intense relationship. They're not ready for that. But they have no control over love. Again, this is a soulmate connection. It's again, 1111 is awakening, okay? This person desires you. They desire you. I am walking home to you. I don't know where I am on the path, but I know eventually I'm going to get to you. I know eventually I will be back to you. It's again, they don't know where they are, but because they are kind of resisting a little bit, because again, that ego's big. They don't want to, they don't really want to surrender it. I'm not going to lie. This person, this is not something that they normally do. They don't normally come back and fix the relationship. They're mighty fine with walking away normally. This person like can't do it. Even though they fucked up the connection, and they did, because hello, they just were haunted from their past relationships. So they see that they didn't give you enough time, energy, or anything. And so, and they know why you're not talking to them. Now, this is collective. Some of you guys will take this person back. Some of you guys won't. Let's see in this story. It's like what you're gonna do, I was gonna say, and you're gonna laugh, but it's like some of you might cry, but it's almost like a transformation of the relationship, okay? It's like a rebirth. It's like this person's like transmuting their blocks again. You walking away made this person look and look at their life. And I feel like to realize that they actually have to do the healing work. That's number one. And I actually feel like they are doing the healing work. That's what transmutation is. It's alchemy. It's because it'd say, well, like, would you take this person back? And you're like, if they transformed, I would. If they would destroy those shadow parts of themselves, I would. If they would ascend, I would. If we can start all over, like start anew, then you would. But it's like, and that's because again, the relationship is really a deep connection. Because this person, again, is not emotionally intelligent. They normally can walk away from a connection. Is taking a lot out of them, and they normally are not affected. So there's a sense that I feel like this person is going through an ego death. I mean, that's really what it is. Rising from the ashes. Again, like I can't lie, like it's them doing the self-reflection work again. They're doing it. It's like they're actually doing the work, and that's why I'm saying it's like that. You're like only if, and I feel like it actually, this connection actually does make you do a lot of self-reflection as well, which if it's a soulmate twin flame relationship, which I believe it is, because like I said, this person has never felt this way before. We see 1111, we see again transmutation, again we see the ego death, and we see a lot of passion. And this person is almost like cocky, where they're like, we're not over yet. And they know that they fucked up this connection, but they're like, I'm going to fix it. Yeah, like it's again, that strong connection. Like I said, feel like you're their counterpart. It's again, there's a ESP connection. They've never had it before. They know that you're their soulmate. They feel like you're part of their soul tribe. Like I said, they feel like, it's like I knew that this was a twin flame connection. because this person would never, ever, 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 ever come back and apologize, come back and surrender their ego. They would never do that. And I feel like because you really do have feelings for this person, you're going to take them back. You would take them back. It's a collective reading, but 90% sure is again that most of you would take this person back because it's a twin flame connection, and it's very difficult to give that type of connection up because the love is so intense, it's so deep, it's transformative. It's to help you transmute the spiritual blocks of childhood, spiritual blocks, just traumas that keep replaying within your life and keeping you stuck in a karmic cycle that again happened in childhood. That's usually when these wounds happen. It doesn't mean that the wound doesn't show up later on in life. It does. And that's what a karmic loop is. It's like I'm stuck in a karmic loop. It's the same karmic theme. It's no relationship works out. I don't have enough money. There's a lack there, which is what makes the person really believe that there's something wrong with them, which is really what makes the person detach and disassociate from those parts of themselves, to wear a mask. And people again live by that mask for so long that they're terrified to actually like take the mask off, because what if you don't like me? That's why I put the mask on to begin with. It's like then you'll really see who I am. See, it's one thing if you don't like me and you just saw the mask. It's a whole other thing if you really actually see who I am and you don't like me. So again, it takes a lot for this person, but it's again, they feel like you're their counterpart. Like I said, they long to sweep you off your feet. And we saw this again, the 1111 always gives it away. It's awakening. And then we got the Phoenix, where this person had to get really uncomfortable. They had to have that ego death. Because the Phoenix doesn't just crash and burn and blow up into a ball of fire for no reason. It's a dumpster fire. This person was a dumpster fire. Now they're coming out of the dumpster and they want to be a better version of themselves. We both know that I am not the one for you. I feel like when I ask for some of you won't. Some of you guys are like, no. And then some of you are like, I know I'm not the one for you because you pissed me off, but that doesn't mean that I don't want you. Which is again sounds right for a soulmate twin flame relationship. I'm not gonna lie. Remember, this person is gonna have to prove it to you. And I think some of you are gonna be like, I'll take you back because of the connection, but I'm really have reservations. I really don't even know if I'm the one for you. I don't think that I am, because I think that it might be too difficult for you to stay on the level vibration that I am. Well, remember, they are on a lower vibration. So spirit brings people into our life that are always going to be on a little bit of a higher vibration to make us evolve into a better version of ourselves. And you might be like, well, this person's on a lower vibration. They're coming into my life. Well, then spirit wants to teach you compassion, to again incorporate the more gentler energies, character traits, being more sensitive to other people's needs, to again realize that the person's wounded and that you don't beat up a person that's hurt. Is that it's going to teach you patience, going to teach you forgiveness, going to teach you to let go. All the hard ones. All the hard ones. That's why, hey, listen, you don't get the twin flame because it's an easy thing. No, you're getting the most hardest, shittiest lessons. The hardest ones. The hardest ones that you're like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much of a pain in the ass. And that's like why I'm saying I feel like some of you are going to be like, I'm not really the one for you because it's very triggering, this connection. And twin flame, it is a twin one. The person doesn't think the way that you do. They don't handle life the way that you do. They're not you. And they were raised the same way. Their approach to life is not. And so you're both learning to incorporate the higher levels of consciousness that were not taught to you because they were not done for you in childhood. That's what the soulmate twin flame connection is about. Their wounds. And it's because you were taught in an environment that I believe was codependent. Had money issues, had spiritual blocks when it came to foundation, when it came to feeling safe and secure. I'm starting to understand our connection. So I believe that, again, you're like, I'm starting to understand that this is what a soulmate twin flame connection is. And I believe that your person is starting to understand because they've tried to control the relationship. They can't. They've compared you to everybody, and they know that you're their person. They just know it. And I also feel like they've dated so many people that they're like, I know what I want. Where before I didn't know what I wanted, I needed to know what I didn't want before I knew what I did want. And you walking away from me, not putting up with my shit, is also made this person be like, know that they can trust you. What I'm looking for is my inner child cards. I want to see why you attracted this person into your life. I can't stand when I cannot find a deck, and meanwhile it's like probably right in front of my face somewhere. So it's actually not. There we go. I wanted to see why you attracted this person into your life. So we look at the inner child cards. That one kind of just hopped out. So we're just going to put it on the side. Okay, what is it? It's overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. And I have taken an extra one today. Normally I take 6, 5 or 6. So we'll see. Outdoors nature, rage, cleansing, resilience. 1, 2, 5. Sing, space. See, it's so odd. Again, I feel like you need to integrate the softer energies into dealing with this person and possibly with people. So you may be, again, someone that tends to think that you're very harsh. And Scorpios tend to, again, we have that stinger. You know what I mean? We're going to tell it to you, have it straight. And it's so where spirit says, again, sometimes it's the way that you come across, it's intimidating, that you don't realize your power. And you deal with people the way that you were dealt with, and that was wrong. Sometimes it's too hard, especially if you're getting triggered by someone that you have feelings for. So spirit says, I'm going to bring this soulmate twin flame into your life that you're going to be hot for. Again, there is passion there. Again, that's undeniable on both sides. However, that it can turn very toxic because of your person's on a low vibration, which means that you always need to be on a higher vibration, which you're like, that's not fair. And spirit says, again, your path. I'm bringing you someone. And again, twin flames, a lot of times you're not going to marry this person. The relationship is so intense, but it's such a difficult type of relationship to find balance all the time. And when you're going through life yourself, especially when you have blocks, that it's not easy. So Spirit says, I gave you this person because, again, of the rage. Again, that's what happens when you grow up and there's a root chakra imbalance. Root chakra imbalance where there's a lack of money, when there's a lack of good relationships, when when it's just parents like had it hard, when they had their own spiritual issues. They inherited ancestral karma, behaviorisms and habits, and some of those habits were addictions. So there was a lack of money. That was because of the way that they tended to deal with their stress. So again, they dealt with life angry instead of, that's the opposite, by the way. We have to be in our passion for life. However, what this did make you, it made you resilient because you didn't have like a strong like structure, support growing up. You had to be your own support. And that's not an easy thing to do as a child. You're gonna have to be resilient. You're gonna have to grow a little bit of a thick skin. You're gonna have to find your voice too. And Spirit says again, God made the world with his voice. You too can make the world with your voice. The rhythm and the tune. We all, are led through our intuition differently and have our own unique style. And I believe that one of your strengths is, again, your voice. So again, maybe just speaking. And so that's the irony. What we see here is we see a paradox where you have a gift for speaking, and where, again, in the right place, again, maybe in front of a podium, speaking to hundreds of people, to be direct, to be, again, so intense is bravo. You're gonna be fabulous. However, we're dealing with somebody that is not on your vibration. They see you as big. They don't feel big. Remember, they create facades. So what Spirit's saying is, you have to change the way that you deal with this person. And we know, again, that you grew up where, again, it was overwhelming. And obviously, if our parents are always angry, it is overwhelming, because then we feel like they're always angry at us too. And that makes us really sensitive. Where Spirit says, yeah, and then if you're like too busy worried about your survival, or worried that you're going to piss someone off because your parents are angry and there's not enough money and there's not enough support, well, you're not going out into the world and finding yourself. So again, you have a lot of empty space. So where your wounds are, you've healed your wounds. You don't come from a low vibration. You may have to learn how to speak a little bit more delicately to this person. However, you want to stay as balanced as you can if you're going to pursue this connection, because it's not an easy connection. It's not. It's one that you're going to question off and be like, I don't know if if we're right for each other. But it's mainly, but there's an intense love. And so Spirit says all those wounds that you healed, well, there's nothing there now. Again, because you're not your wounds, but you have to transmute that energy. Just the same as your person is rising from the ashes, and they are transmuting their wounds of, again, being vulnerable, taking off their mask, and again, being a little bit more spiritually evolved, incorporating the higher levels of consciousness by apologizing and showing you a different version of themselves, instead of being too intense and creating drama, unnecessary drama. Them saying, okay, this relationship is like, I've never felt love like this before. It's so deep. I want to do the right thing. Spirit says you better be creating in that space your transmutation, because you weren't creating. You were too busy being good. You were too busy afraid. So again, you need to incorporate these aspects of self Yes, go out and have fun. Play. That's right. I know it's uncomfortable. Go out and get grounded. Get grounded. Yeah, you can't see this, but this is nature and outdoors. And so again, cleanse yourself. Cleanse yourself. You want to know how to be in this connection the same way how you did when you were being raised by angry parents or angry parents, or parents that were not available emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or any other way, physically, um, that would create a lot of anger inside of you too, rage. No one's ever there for me. Well, the spirit's saying it's transmute that energy, and you gotta cleanse it. You knew how to do it when you were a kid. It's like you went outside, right? You went out in nature. You grounded yourself. Well, Spirit says, well, it's time to ground yourself again. It's again and create in that space. You're supposed to transmute the negative energy of rage. That's fire energy. That is the only energy that can change any negative energy. You can't, it's like it's transmutation energy, it's manifestation energy. But if it's turned inward where it's rage, it'll actually create cancer. It'll take you down. So Spirit saying, you grew up in an environment where you have rage. It's like you were taught to deal with life that way. You were taught, you were raised by parents that or a parent that was that way. Somebody in your childhood was that way. It influenced you, and that's not the correct way to deal with life. So it's again, you're not going to be able to deal with this person this way. You're going to have to incorporate the more gentler energy, because they won't be able to take your power. They're going to read it as blame all the time because they're sensitive, because they're wounded. So yes, I'm giving you someone that you're going to now have to be mindful of the way you speak, but it'll help you later on. Again, so you're overwhelmed when you're with this person through the same way that you did in childhood, only more now, because I'm asking you to actually go out and create in that space. I mean, it's empty space. It's like an empty canvas that you can create anything that you want. Take the negative energy and now you transmute it the same way that your person did. Then you will be together with your person. It's again, then that will be the correct time, but not until then. It's, because you're both in separation. We all know the twin flame connection. It's together, it's separate, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. It's like a light switch. That's why I said it's a difficult relationship that a lot of times you're going to be like, is this really? Like, am I supposed to be with this person? Because they're going to trigger you. And Spirit says, yes. To give you free will, divine light fell out. I am an expression of love and I shine like the sun. My inner light is my strength and my treasure. My intuition guides me to discover the wonder and goodness of who I am. So again, I believe the soulmate twin flame relationship is all about learning how to step into your best self, your true self, and that you're getting this twin to help you to do so, and that your intuition is leading you, because your intuition, the divine, has a hand in the connection and knows that you're wounded, and also knows that that person is wounded, and also knows that you both were taught in environments where you inherited ancestral karma, which is all these behaviorisms and habits that are sabotaging to the connection. This person runs and they ignore and they have the ostrich syndrome, and where again, Spirit says, and where you would be too overcompensating. So again, be the expression of love by giving and receiving of love, because God says all I am is love, and I am the universe, and the universe is inside of you. You are me, and you have my power. So again, be that expression of love. And I'm going to pull one more. Balance. And I believe that to be true with the soulmate twin flame relationship. Is all about both of you learning balance. Don't lose yourself, but all you're really doing is you're becoming more aware and mindful of like how you're coming across, and like what your needs really are, and of the other person's feelings. I find a balance between each sphere of my life, and that's the way that you do it, by the way. I am the master of my daily life. I make time to nourish the spiritual and physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and soul. So, Spirit saying the way that you would, again, be successful is, again, relying on God to navigate this connection, number one. But you need to control yourself, and this person needs to control themselves. Don't be codependent. That means find balance. So life should look like a pizza pie. There's 8 slices of pizza in a pizza pie. Make sure that you are interactive in life, and you master your life by making time for your physical health, your spiritual health, your friends, right? Your emotional health, your work life, right? There's time for everything. And then your person gets a half a slice of pizza, or maybe a slice. But then this way they learn to appreciate you, and your life is balanced. Otherwise, you're going to wind up codependent, and this connection won't work, because it's too paradoxical. And again, you have a lot of wounds. You don't think the way this person thinks. They don't think the way that you think. You're going to trigger each other. That's the dynamic of the twin flame connection. That's why it's so intense. That's why there is so much love. That's why the divine has a hand in it, because it's like, listen, this is the only way you're going to learn. It's that you're down there to learn and to manifest, and you're supposed to learn that you're not separate from me, God, unconditional love, the universe. That's who I am. All 3 of those things. And you're me, but you're not acting like me. You're wounded. So I'm going to bring you this person that's going to force you to step into your divine self, your best version of yourself, so you can create your own heaven on earth. And it's, again, the walk is balance. And I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonate with this. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.